And what made Arsenal's performance to go down? Or do we have the mentality of a champion? In the midfield, we were lacking. Alexander Zinchenko has exposed himself during the interview that he had with Ferdinand. He said that he loses concentration whenever he is defending. If you remember that game that we had against West Ham, Liverpool, and Chelsea, there were so many mistakes that this guy Alexander made, and today he had to talk about one of the mistakes that he made in the game by leaving out the right wing, and that guy was Manueki, and that he scored the same goal. We love Alexander. We love him so much. What he brings in the game is something so different, and is something so unique to this Arsenal team. Not only the way he plays, but also because of the mentality. He's one of the top guy. But when you look at defensively, he's one of the poor person. He doesn't know how to defend. And in this video or in this interview, he said that he's working on the same mistakes that he used to make, and he's been watching the videos concerning the mistakes that he's been making. Quite a lot. A lot of people, a lot of us Arsenal fans who've been so curious with Alexander Zinchenko whenever he is playing. Why? Because every time, every opponent, every club, they used to attack on the left back, because they knew that that guy is one of the weak links for this Arsenal. So if Alexander is going to work on this weak link, or is going to work on how to deal, on how to defend, and change the mentality on how to have his opponent or have his main man in his pocket, then we are good to go. So Alexander Zinchenko has exposed himself to say he needs to learn. This season we are expecting something so beautiful, we are expecting something so great, and we are aiming to win the Premier League. This is not the time that we need to waste. This is not the time that we need to start learning something. I think you've learned something, and if he's not going to work it out, I'm telling you, this time Kivio is going to take his place. Timber is going to take his place. Let me say, even Tamiyasu is going to take his place. So he needs to work so hard to eliminate those mistakes, and that's true. So guys, listen to this interview.
Which player in history would you say is most compared to yourself, most like yourself?
Wow, it's a good question, because there is not many fullback in that role, to come inside. Listen, I know my weaknesses defensively, and I know all these things, like.
I love that, right? Listen, I know. So you said defensively is your weaknesses, yeah? What do you do? Because there's a lot of fullbacks in the world now where it's about attacking more than defending. And finding the balance is difficult, and it's probably the hardest thing. How do you go about improving yourself defensively? If you just highlighted straight away my defensive areas where I need to work, how do you go about improving that element?
I think you have, in my opinion, you have to improve by your mistakes. So let's say, give you example, last season we played against Chelsea, Emirates, 3-1. You remember that goal? I think Kovacic gave the ball behind me, between me and centre back, and Madueke went 1v1 and he scored. For that moment, I lost concentration for 3 seconds because the body language was not right. Normally, in this case, when you stay high, what you need to do? You need to keep the line with your center back, you need to keep your eye with your winger, and you need to focus beyond the ball. So 3 things. And your obviously body language, ready to run. I lost because the game was at that moment up and down, and it was just a bit, like CV. And then I lost concentration. I watched that moment many times. And listen, what I can say eventually from this mistake, just concentration. In this league, because the league is above the rest, if you lose a couple of seconds concentration, you are finished. That the guys will punch you so hard, you don't wake up again. So you need to watch your mistakes. Let's say Trent last season, about Mac. I spoke with him after the game in the tunnel. He said that, Alex, I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect that I max you. In the end, I went down with my head and I see the ball is still with me. And then after I realized I max you, I knew he's gonna mag me. I knew. If you see the picture, I touched, my knees were touching each other, and the space was actually maybe here. Just the ball could come through. I knew that was obviously the only way he could go. He could go through me. So it's only you have to watch. You have to talk to your teammates, the manager. At City, I used to watch a lot from Vincent. Was a lot of times that after the session, without the ball, without anything, him and me on the pitch, he was showing me positions. Kyle Walker, fit, like his defensive footwork. For me, the best in the world.